with for game Fridays? Was it just to literally put out game?
Yeah, I mean, we were having such legendary conversations like the Russell stock and gold cards and the pergola and all these things that came into fruition come from, just those that talk, like that game talk of like, oh, if we do this or we realize this and now if we do that, then it's going to lead to this. And we weren't sharing those moments or even allowing people to figure out how they happened. We were just doing them. And that's great, like for people to witness, but for the people who see something and then it causes motion in their life, like there's some people who just watch greatness and then there's people who want to participate in greatness. And the people who want to participate in it deserve to know how it happened. So then they can, like, these ideas happened because like Nipsey did his $100 album, which sparked the thought in La Russell's brain to do Pay What You Want shows. And then after we did Pay What You Want, we realized, oh, well, we could do offer base. And all these things happened because somebody chose to share their blueprint and what they did. And if we don't share what we did, then we won't be able to spark that idea in the next mind to do something even greater than what we could think of, So it was like we had to. It wasn't even a like.
But I think people do have like that gatekeeping mindset of like game is sold not told,
And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because it's like, personally, I feel like that comes from a capitalistic mindset of like everything is for sale and we need to just, if you have something that's of value, then you need to sell it before you just give it for free. But the thing with that is like, well, not everybody is going to have the money to buy it. And I don't know. I think that's a whole other thing. But that is like the root of like where we're at in humanity right now. Like everything doesn't need to be sold. Everything doesn't. And especially not game. It's like you learning all of these things that I know could never take away from what I'm doing. It could only enhance it. Imagine if everybody was like giving out game to everything. Like we would be so much further in technology and science and everything if we chose to share knowledge instead of like gatekeep it and copyright it and you can't use this thing because I thought of it and don't touch it. It's like, bruh, that idea isn't even yours.
Right.
It just came through you. It's the universe's and the universe exists in all of us. So for you to try to gatekeep something is like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because it was never yours to begin with. So.
Yeah, no. And I think you guys change, and that's what I love about you guys, right? You guys change that narrative of like, man, we're just gonna, because now more than ever, there's a bunch of content creators, So it's
right.
like, but who's helping these guys out? What agencies are gonna go and sign them? Not everyone is there yet to be able to be signed by an agency, but I think people like you guys who are doing it in real life and are doing it big, being able to give back, paying your like due diligence in a way,
Yeah.
Because long term, man, like me too. I'm following your guys' blueprint. I'm sure a lot. Have you guys had like success stories? Kind of reach out to you and be like, "Yo, Tieta, this is what we've been doing."
Yes. We get to meet people all the time. Locksmith, who we just did the last free game Friday with at the Pergola, told us like, bruh, I followed your game and it worked and it helped me. And we've had people come up to us constantly. People who do clothing, not even music, are like, I used what you said and I sold way more units than I've ever sold in my life because of what you said about ad targeting and reposting and all these things. And it's like, bro, it's working and we're having positive impact in people's lives. And that's really what counts. That was the whole purpose of like, bro, we have to share this game because we could change somebody's life. And you don't have to like pay for it. And like when you have that kind of impact on people, it always comes back around. Like we see those people at shows, which means that they are paying to come see his shows, or they donate or all these things. And it's like, you don't have to charge them for the game because when you impact somebody's life, you have them forever. They'll never forget about you and they'll turn around and they'll support you too. And then you support them. And then, it's just like a constant cycle of positive building.
Yeah. Damn. That is not, you just said that so well. Like you really did. Because it just changes everything, that, like you said, like that capitalistic mindset of just like, it's going to be me. But in reality, like, I believe everything is an internal game anyways. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't really take away someone else's
It really comes from a lack mindset. You think that there's only so much of it out there and I need to get as much of it as possible because if somebody has some of it, then that means I have less of it. You think that there's like a minimal amount of this thing out there, and it's like the universe is limitless and everything out here is limitless. So like you having, especially knowledge, it's an intangible thing. We can't even access all the knowledge that's out there. So how dare we try to keep it from somebody else? It's like you keeping it from them is truly keeping it from yourself.
Yeah. Because then, like you said, you're able to build a bridge by just giving that out.
LaRussell sharing his ideas with me allowed us to end up with these grand ideas that we then get to execute on. It's always like, hey, I was thinking I would do this thing. And I'd be like, oh, if you did that, then we could do this. And he'd be like, damn, you're right. And then we do this. And then, it's like.
It's all a trickle effect.
It's all a trickle effect. So to not share knowledge is like, you're holding us all back, man. Yeah. Just share it.
No, that's true. That's true. And yeah, I think that's that universal currency that I always talk about, right? It's like, yeah, you're not just you're obviously going to make money through that, but yeah, those are like little things that are always going to trickle. And you're probably never going to know the actual end result of it, of like how much you made an impact. But I think, yeah, like you said, as long as we all kind of have that mindset, like.
It's like what Tupac said. Like, I might not be the change. Okay. He said, I might not be the change, but I'm going to spark the mind that does change things. And that's why we have to do what we do. And we have to speak out and we have to share knowledge. We have to act on these ideas because you never know who's watching and you never know whose mind you're going to spark and what idea they're going to have because of the idea that you executed on.
Yeah, no, that's facts. So